You are not allowed to have wonky internet.
You see, right now you're frozen. I can hear you, but you're frozen. Your face was frozen. Hi, guys.
Oh no! Hi, we are live. Last week we did our reading show, and it was the first time we did a reading show without the lovely Mama D. And I'm going to tell you right now, didn't like it. Nope, no sir,
Aww.
no sir. We did good. We had fun. MJ came in and kind of did a little substitute for the Mama D, but there is no substitute for Mama D. So don't leave me again, Mama D.
Okay, I'll try. Don't just tell everybody not to take me off. That's all. Dancing on the table, drinking margaritas.
But tonight's show is really more up Mama D's alley because Mama D works with the angels. It is along her forte. Well, it's actually both of our fortes because it's spirit guides and angels and all of
I think
the
everybody can connect to this.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
You just have to be honest about it. That's all.
Yeah, yeah. But you know how many times? Millions of times, I swear. It could be millions. I mean, it could be 2 millions. I don't know. Millions of times. How do you get in touch with your spirit guides? How do you do this? How do you do that? All the time. If you really want to know, it's in here. All right. So let me play her video and let's get her on here because you guys are gonna love her.
Mm-hmm.
This week in the Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, we welcome Robbie Holz. She is an internationally respected healer and medium, a frequent media guest, and an author of the award-winning books read in over 44 countries, Secrets of the Aboriginal Healing and The Aboriginal Secrets of Awakening. The Aboriginal healing secrets are revealed at the request of the remote Aboriginal tribespeople. Using Aboriginal healing techniques, Robbie healed herself of hepatitis C, fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, and treatment-induced temporary brain damage. Her latest book, Angels in Waiting, How to Reach Out to Your Guardian Angels and Spirit Guides, is filled with clear directives on how to engage angels and benevolent spirit guides for powerful assistance with your struggles and desires. You can visit her website at www.holzwellness.com, and you can contact Robbie at holzwellness.com. And we welcome you to the Fox Den, Robbie. Hi, Robbie.
Hi.
Can I just say a little quick something? If anybody hasn't noticed, Gina's voice is back.
My voice is back. Yes, it is. Oh my God. A lot of antacid stuff, from Metadine and omeprazole, and I have a voice. Amazing. You know what else I have? I have all her books. I enjoyed the book so much because I showed you guys. When I like a book, I dog ear it and I mark the crap out of it. I showed this online. I made a video. I'm like, you've got to see how many marks I have in this book. It's almost every. Hi, Dave. It's like every single page, right? This book is phenomenal because it's serious. You guys ask me all the time, how do I know who my spirit guide is or spirit animal even, But she is such a great author. Everything is in here. All right. So if you really need to know anything about spirit guides and animals, first of all, get that. But
If you're gonna do it again, if you do it again, I'll scream. You know that, right?
What? Do what?
It's okay. You froze for a minute there, so I'm assuming the 4 books came up. I'm gonna have to move this stage just so that I can get all the daggone books.
So you can get books? Yes. Yeah. Yes. No, I really do. I'm not kidding though. You guys know.
No, I think this book, from what I saw with the video I saw, I think this book has the most dog-eared pages out of all the books.
I think so. I really think so. If I did my tags, which Robbie and I were just talking about, because I have like these tags that I use too in books, and these different colors mean different things, and the whole thing, it would have been like, it's like, wow, it's just the book. It is. Yeah. It's just a book because it's so concise and clear and perfect as an explanation as to what things are. So that's what I'm going to start with. Is okay. We have a list of questions, and I really actually like them. And the top one on this list is, do I have a guardian angel even if I don't believe in them? I love that question.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that question.
Yeah. Well, because some people don't even, it's not even part of their belief system. It's not part of their culture, or they don't believe in them. And every single person has at least one guardian angel, if maybe even two. And they're with you from your first breath to your last breath, 24/7. And that should be a comfort to a lot of people, to know that you're never alone.
Right. And that's the thing too, when you all of a sudden you near misses on accidents. You leave the house 5 minutes later because you can't find your keys, and then they're right back where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
Right. Things like that. It's like your spirit guides come in. They give you all those intuitive thoughts. Yes. You're a little hyper, Jody. That's Jody's toes del vecchio. I heard that. I will never let you live it down, Jody. But yeah, really, all these people say, oh, I don't have any guardian angels. I don't have this and I don't have that. And it's like, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You have any kind of intuition, and things happen to you that save you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are not used to picking up in their messages, or they think they're not being responded to when they do ask for help. And you ladies both know it's not always going to come the way that you expect it, and in the timing that you want, but it'll come the way it needs to come when it needs to come.
Yeah.
But they do respond to you. And the guardian angels have a little bit different role than spirit guides or other angels, in that they have the task of making sure, this is why they're called guardian angels, that you are not experiencing something your soul doesn't want you to experience, or harmed or killed if your soul doesn't want you to have those experiences at those times. So that's why they're called guardians, that they are there to make sure that those things don't happen if they're not supposed to in that particular way, and that they are allowed to intervene. And the guardian angels are like the first responders. They're like the gatekeepers, and they're the easiest to. My guys were telling me that this is why they wanted the book made the way that it was, Angels in Waiting, because they're like, you don't need to go beyond your guardian angel. Yes, there's tremendous amount of help there for you, spirit guides, loved ones who have passed over, ancestors, a lot of different angels, archangels, ascended masters, whatever. But the guardian angels are designed to have the easiest relationship and communication abilities.
Yep, and like ascended masters and everything else too are in there. So we have all this help, and it's just like everybody should be comforted to the fact of that, that we have all this help, and all we have to do is ask. That is all you have to do, and that's the one thing that people have a hard time with, or they ask the wrong questions. They're asking for the wrong things.
Well, and to go back to what you were just saying, I think a lot of people think they don't deserve help, or or they're not being listened to, or that the angels give up on us, or they get frustrated by us and impatient. They don't have those kinds of emotions. But here's the thing, they're going to respond, but they're going to respond according to the highest good of all and your soul's intentions. So, you can say, thanks for helping me win the lottery, but that won't happen if it's not your soul's intention, which it probably isn't. But they can certainly bring abundance to you in other ways, or help and money to you in other ways. So it just may not come, like, we were just saying, the way you expect, in the timing you expect, but they will respond to you.
Yeah. I always say that when I'm doing readings, I'll say to people, you don't always get what you want, you get what you need.
Yeah.
And when it comes to guardian angels, it's the same thing.
Yep, exactly.
I may want
$1 million,
but I'm only going to need 25. So there we go.
Yeah.
Right. There's a great country song out there too. I thank God for unanswered prayers.
Yeah.
It is a really good song. If you don't know what it is, Google it. All right. Jody has a good question. She says, are guardian angels earthbound souls or not?
They are not. There's a difference between guardian angels and angels and spirit guides. And let me just make it clear. You guys have probably made this clear in the past, but we're only working with benevolent beings here. Beautiful, benevolent beings that absolutely love us more than we can possibly comprehend. Angels don't need to go through the whole human journey, that whole human experience. They can take on a brief form, physical form, if they need to. Now, spirit guides, on the other hand, have had many, many lives where they are highly evolved and they choose to come back and assist, to be of service out of tremendous love. But the angels and the spirit guides that we're working with, they are not earthbound spirits, sort of speak, and the spirit guides have had human lives, so they understand what that's like. I mean, nobody, your angel may want to give you a message at 3 a.m., but your spirit guide knows that's not a good idea. You're trying to get a good night's sleep. They understand what it's like as a human for the need for sleep and that sort of thing. So there is a difference. And so spirit guides might come back because they have sort of an expertise or experience in certain things, like a child who has Down syndrome. You may have spirit guides who were parents or actually a person with Down syndrome. They may come and assist you. And the spirit guides come in and out briefly, depending on what you're going through, whereas the guardian angel is always there.
Always, right.
Yeah.
Like assigned at birth until you're dead.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, and different every lifetime, because you're different every lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, can you are a medium. Now, can you see or detect? How do you detect someone who is an old soul?
Oh, well, and I'm curious whether you guys are the same way, but the messages come to me in so many different forms, right? Sometimes it's a flash, sometimes it's a whole download of information in a second. That's very common. They'll give you all that you need to know in a second because it's telepathic. They don't need to go through every word for word for word like you would say out loud in the English language.
Right.
Yeah. So
you just know.
You just know, yeah, and they give you in a second. So I mean, I do consults with people all the time, and they just give me that information. I just have that knowing instantly, where I didn't have it 5 seconds ago.
Yes, yeah. I do know.
Yeah.
I know exactly that.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I view like construction things and have all my whole life. We
were talking about that the last time you and I talked a couple of days ago. How you just know how to do it, whether you've done it before or seen it done before,
or not.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
I see it in every phase. If I look in a room, I can see it blown up. I can look at a piece of furniture, I can see it blown up. I can look in an empty room and see it all done and decorated. So that's why I went into that field.
I would have loved that ability when I ordered a couch in red material, right? This big, bright red print that I had no idea till I had the whole. If I'd have had that, Gina, ahead of time, I would have known I might go with a different pattern, different color.
Pillows in the world. No pillows in blankets.
Yeah. Hindsight's 2020. Yeah.
I always start, when I decorated a place, I would always start with the artwork. I'm like, what do you like for artwork?
Oh.
And I would do the whole color palette from your artwork.
Smart. Yeah, smart.
Color, you go to the wall color, and then everything else.
Because that artwork calls to you, doesn't it? So that's smart. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Dave writes 4:44 and 5:55. The last 2 mornings we've woken up to. All right. What about that? What about like angel numbers? Things like that.
They will use what you pay attention to, and some people are more visual oriented. Some people are more they sound, where music calls to them. But there's a book called, and I think I put that in Angels in Waiting, Angel Numbers 101 by Doreen Virtue.
I got it.
Yeah, I find that. Yeah, it's a really good guide, and it tells you what those numbers mean. So I'll write them down. I have a clock that has the, the red light up on the ceiling, so I can see 132 or 333. And then I'll write it down because I sure as heck won't remember it in the morning. And then I look it up, and it's usually, quite often, it's the message. They want you to know they're here, you're surrounded. It's our way of saying hi. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Always. And it's just so, look at the smile on your face. You can just tell, right? Doesn't that like just come from like a different place?
If we all knew that we have this beautiful, powerful, loving being walking by our side 24/7, who loves us crazy amounts beyond our comprehension and was wanting to assist, I think we'd all feel a lot better. I know we would.
Definitely. Yeah. Because people love to wallow. They do. Something bad happens, they love to wallow.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, you're allowed to wallow for
15 minutes,
a little period of time. After that, stop. Right.
Yeah.
But you can ask your guardian angels, your spirit guides, or anything to help you, give you strength, give you courage, give you motivation. You know what I mean? It's like these are the things you need to learn how to ask for, so you can do the footwork and you can do it.
Yeah. And you want to ask for what you want, not for what you don't want. There's a distinction. And I'm sure most of your listeners are aware of that you want to focus on what you want, not what you don't want, so that you don't say, thanks for healing, blah, blah, blah. Instead you say, thank you for helping me create a healthy, vibrant body. Rather than saying, thank you for helping me let go of this depression or anxiety, instead you would say, thank you for helping me have peace, happiness, joy, finding awe and wonder in the simplest things, focusing on what you want.
Yep.
And this is important. They will respond, and I've mentioned this before, according to the highest good of all, but also according to your soul's intentions. And most souls want people to move out of that negativity and fear of the mind and shift into the heart with love and forgiveness and acceptance and joy. So it's really, they're here to help you move out of that negativity and fear of the mind and heal and come out the other side where you are at peace. You are happy no matter what's going on around you or in your life.
Mm-hmm. True. I love the way you put things, just your viewpoints, and I know that they're coming, from
the common sense. For those of us who understand it, it's to me what she's saying is common sense.
It is like a download. It's just like people ask these things all the time. I'm telling you, if you read this book and you read these things in here, it's like, all the questions you guys have asked me, they send me messages all the time. I'm just going to say, get this book.
Yeah. We really wrote that book for people who this is new to them.
Right.
But also for people who this is not new for them, but they want to go farther than they've gone before. So we tried to cover everything. Both ends. Yeah.
And now you have this Vibrant Living. This is like a workbook that kind of goes along with this. Every day for like 60 days.
Yeah, and don't let the title dissuade you that it's not necessarily about the pandemic. It's really this condensed version, Vibrant Living, how to communicate with utilize really your guardian angel's help. But it's about, it's taking that information and putting it into step-by-step how to do that. So it's a 60-day guidebook on how to, and it's like a page or two per day, but it's like, okay, here's the information. Here's how you know whether it's coming from your mind or from your guides. Here's how to increase your connection, your intuition, all of that, and explaining all the different, spirit guides.
And you say it's very important to go day by day, not skip ahead.
Right. You can take as many as you want in one day, but just follow it in that pattern because it's very deliberate. It's laid out on, and that's, they guided me on how they wanted that written. And you know how we are. Sometimes we're like, really? And then they're like,
I want to do this. No. No,
I know.
I have, Mama can attest, I have maybe a slight problem with that.
No problem with what you want
Control
to.
issue. Control issue. Yeah, oh, and see that? See what happened?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
Keith says, though, what about those others, and not him, because I know he definitely believes in God, that don't believe in God?
Then that's okay. Everybody's at different places. And this is where you have acceptance that everybody is experiencing the way they need to for what they're here to learn. This is like an earth school. And we're all at different levels. We're all equal as souls, but some souls are what you might call the older souls who are more evolved. Again, equal to younger souls, but the older souls have more growth under their belt, more evolution. And so the older soul will learn something different than what the younger soul's going to learn. I liken it to some, like the older soul might be in what we would call college classes, where they're going to get a little bit more challenging homework and material, whereas somebody who's in an elementary level, who might be very hung up on certain mindsets, especially religious mindsets, and they need to work through that and find out what feels like truth to them. And I think that's kind of what surprised me about the Aboriginal healing books. The Aboriginal people asked us to get these books out, the Secrets of Aboriginal Healing, and so we got them out. And but what I didn't expect was that they would be read in over 44 countries because it resonates as truth to people. That shocked the heck out of me. And so you can feel truth. And if God feels like your truth, then that's your truth. If creator or God goddess or divine source feels like your truth, then that's your truth.
Right. I mean, you can have a structure without having to have a single deity,
Yeah.
and you can believe in angels and not believe that there is a God, too.
Yeah.
So that's what makes the world a pretty unique place. Now, this is funny because Jody just put this up. I was just going to ask about angels and feathers, and then you held up the book. That's a feather on there, correct? Yes, it is. Let me do this because I do have a picture of all the things there. So that is her site, www.holz, HOLZ, wellness.com. And you can email her at robbie@holzwellness.com. And then there's all the books right there. And you see I put feathers in the picture, Jody.
Yeah. Because some people will associate angels with feathers, and so they might leave feathers. You might encounter feathers, or like when my husband passed, there's a story about the hummingbird, and so the hummingbird came to represent for me him. It wasn't that he was not the hummingbird, but he was sort of using the hummingbird to get my attention, to create messages. When he was passing, I talk about this in the Aboriginal Secrets of Awakening. As he was passing physically in the bedroom, it was when he could no longer join us at the table to eat. I noticed that there was a little hummingbird outside on a tree watching us as we were eating. And that happened for the last couple of days of his life. That hummingbird was there whenever we were eating, and he was no longer at the table with us. And the day he passed at about 10:30 in the morning, that hummingbird died as well. And at the same time, and it was on the deck. So it helped me realize that there was a connection between hummingbirds and my late husband. So he will show up as, fly in your face.
Yeah, because like a friend of mine who has another podcast, she believes in the hummingbirds, and that's like her thing. I'm the fox, you know what I mean? So I'm all not my only one, but that will show up when I need it the most. Always, I'll just see a fox, or someone sends me a picture of a fox just right when I need it, But that's the thing too. Just when these things come into your life, it could be that someone is sending you a picture of it, and why all of a sudden they're sending you a picture of it,
Yeah. Or maybe it's a flower. You know,
or
it's
whatever
different
it
for
is.
everybody. Yeah.
Whatever it is, but all of a sudden you get it. We had on a guy who lost his son, Joe, and he still talks to him, you know.
Mhm.
But cardinals show up for him, you know. So it's everybody is different, but it's just phenomenal, and I love that.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Keith wrote up here again. Do we go to school in how to function once we die in this universe? Do we go to school and how to
Oh,
function once we die
oh,
in this universe?
okay. Oh, you know what? I think that's a great question to ask. On the other side of the veil, things can be in perfection. And it's kind of stagnant for growth purposes because it's imperfection. So we come to this really challenging third dimensional earth school where there are opportunities left and right for growth. There's dark, there's light, there's shadow. You know, it's like a painting. It's that contrast that makes things more obvious. And so this earth school, we are given a physical body and the emotions, which are very tied to the physical body, but we're given a wider range of emotions here than we are on the other side of the veil. So, and it's also important. So we get to feel jealousy, anxiety, depression, impatience, where you may not get to feel that on the other side of the veil, depending on where you are in your growth. But so it's much easier to make huge leaps in growth here at this particular very challenging earth school. And we also have free will. So it's up to us whether we learn it, how we learn it, the pace we learn it. And and then when you cross back over, you take that information with you and your soul continues to gain that mastery. So maybe your soul in this particular lifetime wants you to gain greater mastery over self-love. So you will choose to be born into a situation where you may not feel that love from others around you. You may be have soul contracts with people in your life, especially your family members, who will not love you as you are. Or you might feel because of society's conditioning, you're not worthy. And so it's about learning to find that love from within rather than from without. And that may be what you're here to master. So this is an amazing place. And we are so brave for showing up at this really tough school. And we have tremendous assistance. And this is one of the things I hope people walk away with is that we were never designed to be doing this alone. You know, you would never send any kid off to school without some kind of assistance. We have so much help, but because it's a free will planet, they won't just step in unless we ask. And all you have to do is ask in your mind. They're telepathic to your thoughts, and once is enough. But one of the examples that I think really helps understand that is it's like a child wanting to learn how to tie their shoes. And they might make a big tangled mess of those laces, and that's fine. It's part of the learning process. But when that child asks the parent to help them with their laces, then the parent steps in and assists in the way that's appropriate for that child. And it's the same thing here. When we ask, then they will step in and help in the way that's appropriate for what we need to learn, how we need to learn it. And they will assist according to how they're allowed.
Yeah.
So,
now the souls too on the other side, they're going through processes as well, right? So it's like when we communicate as paranormal investigators, seeing what we see, hearing what we hear, you know, these poor, like a lost soul or just someone that doesn't want to leave, you know,
right.
All these things that they have to go through the same steps. So we go through our steps here living. Once we pass, we go through the same steps over there. Now, like here though, if you can reach the point of that like ascended mastery, then I think you have a huge leg up on the other side that you can bypass a lot of these steps. But in order to explain what an ascended master is here.
Okay.
Area.
Well, and the ascended master, as they're choosing to use it, and as I explained in the book, is that some of the ascended masters that people might be familiar with are like Buddha, Divine Mother Mary.
Yeah, right behind her, right up on that top shelf.
Yeah, that's right. She's a big part of my work. She gives me assignments. Let's put it that way. This is how they explained it to me. We are on a third dimensional frequency and vibration, right? And it's very easy on third dimensions to get pulled into depression, anxiety, fear, stress. That's third dimensional vibration. Fourth dimension is where you're touching into that extreme gratitude, joy, awe. It's more love based and it's a higher frequency. Fifth dimension is where a lot of the angels are. Yeah. And these benevolent spirit guides that we're working with. Now, sixth dimension, and even archangels are, I'm just asking them. Okay, archangels and the ascended masters are vibrating at a sixth dimensional existence. So it's a much, much higher frequency, higher consciousness, tremendous more love, that sort of thing. So they're they are highly advanced. Their energy is incredibly strong. But I think one point that might help people learn, we talked about this earlier, is they might feel more comfortable asking for their help if they recognize that we were designed to have this help, but also it's in their best interest to be allowed to help us.
Exactly, because if they help us, then they advance, and we, you know,
right,
what I mean? And that's what
right.
it is. One hand helps the other, helps the other from this life to the next and on.
Because they're serving us out of tremendous love. And so when we allow them to help us, they're serving us out of tremendous love, which allows them to grow. And as we grow, they also grow. So it's this beautiful symbiotic relationship.
Right.
Use it.
It is, yeah, it is the design. It is.
Yeah.
Now I want to back up here because I don't want to lose it in the things. Richard, hi Rich, says, what about dimes? I see lots of dimes. Mama sees lots of butterflies. You know, but yeah, change for me. My answer to that is if you can actually, again, you know, right here, big tool. You Google it. What does a dime, nickel, quarter, penny, whatever mean when you find them? And there are different meanings for each one of them. But so whatever the meaning for dimes are, I'm sure that there's something pertaining to you. Mm-hmm. But what are your guys, if you can ask?
Well, and it depends on the person. Some people they're more aware of money lying around, right? And so they'll notice pennies before they notice feathers. Well, then they'll send you pennies, right? Or you might have this connection with a brother who's passed over, where, you know, you guys used to flip the pennies against the wall, right? I'm old enough to say that's how we were entertained, right? Who could get the penny closest to the wall? You know, so that might have more special meaning to you and your connection to him. So that might be one of the ways that he will send a message of, hey, I'm here. Just saying hi.
Yep, it could be. All right, this is a long one here. Jody Toesdale Vecchio, I gotta say it. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm loving these questions. These are great.
I went to the 911 memorial and it was so heavy in there that she was ill. At the end of it, she had something poking at her left leg of her pants, and she went to the ladies' room and there was a bird feather inside, 4 inches long. She must say she freaked a little. Well,
understandably, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. But you know, Jody's a connected soul, so I'm sure, you know, that for me, I would say that your angels were making sure that they were there with you and giving you, you know, hugs, because you get very emotional with these things. And I'm
getting the same thing. It was angels.
Yeah,
it was the angels. Yeah.
What do you think, Mama?
I happen to agree. I think that we're always looking for the big things. Like she said, she wasn't feeling well. She was feeling ill. It was a lead up into, you know, and just to let her know that she was going to be okay. That's where, okay, it's not a nice way, but you were being poked at, you know. And then when you had to stop, you stopped to investigate what it was, because you were an investigator, and you found the feather. And that was just your reminder saying, you know, you're going to be okay. You're not alone, and things are going to be fine. Just breathe through.
Yeah. Mama's always getting poked. You know, if something comes in, not often, you know, but something will always come in and poke around the legs. You know, if we're doing a show, you know, or either a guest or someone in the chat or something that you'll all of a sudden get a message from, or you know, I can always tell when it's happening. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's
She
kind
knows
of
me way too well.
yeah. This is like, right, but it's always poking at her leg. You
Yeah.
know, which is kind of fun. Aw, Jody. We love you, Jody. Miss you, girl. Keith says that he wants to be a warrior or a soldier for Christ. Well, I don't know if we get to pick and choose. Um, I'm not sure. Do we? If that's what you wanna, if that's what you wanna like have for a job over there, would you be able to just say, I can, you know, this is what I want? Or do you have
Oh,
to
you mean on the other side of the veil?
the other side? Yeah.
Oh, well, it's so interesting because, and I'm sure you ladies know this well, what you desire here on this earth plane is what the mind desires is quite often very different on the other side of the veil. We don't take all of us here. It's a very small aspect of us, of our soul. And so we are so much more on the other side of the veil. And if you have that strong desire, um, who knows, you know, what you could do with it. What they've taught me to understand is that it's really about learning to come from a place of love, and that if you are called to action, and some people are here to be activists, to make changes physically. If you are called and you're operating from a place of love, rather than fear, that's really what you want to follow, because fear attracts more fear. But
Wow.
being a warrior for love is a beautiful thing if you're following that inner guidance on how to do that, rather than the mind, which has its own agenda.
Yeah. Keith, you're always fighting.
Yeah,
For
that's why I keep
for a good
getting
cause.
he
For a
is
good
the
cause.
warrior. He may
Yeah.
not be the warrior that he wants to be, but you are the warrior because you fight for others and you fight for knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, we love Keith. He's got the biggest heart of like almost anybody I know. So Vicky, hi Vicky. We've had Vicky on our show. We love Vicky so much, and she said she was going to get your book. But she says, I asked for a goldfish to be a sign a few years ago. Someone I know has a baby who was dead at birth, and I prayed so hard. She survived and is now 2 and doing well. Whenever I'm in the town she lives in, I find goldfish. Once at our hotel, and when we got into our hotel room, a goldfish cracker was on the floor in front of our room. That's amazing.
Don't you love that?
Chills.
Yeah.
Oh, I really, I get it. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wicked goosebumps. Yes, this stuff happens to me all the time. You know, like I ask for signs from my Lacey, and my Lacey, my dog that passed away, which I wear. That's why I wear my ring.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, she left me food. She left me little biscuits.
She
You know,
Man,
she did.
Oh, you know,
You're finding this stuff, but you know, she would leave it, and I would step on it, and I'd be like, "Damn it, Lacey!" You know.
so I'm curious if this happens to you two ladies. When I communicate to the other side and an animal comes through, dogs, there's so much love, I'm practically bawling every time they come through me. There is so much unbridled love. I can hardly I stop from sobbing.
I'm telling. I know. I swear. This is going to sound horrible, people, but it's the God's honest truth. When my husband died, I cried like a lot. I mean, I was a mess.
Yeah.
Right? But when my dog died, I think I cried more.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. I
Yeah.
just, because it's like an unconditional love.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it just touches the soul. And now I have little Biscuit over here who's, 14.
So adorable.
Oh,
Yeah.
love him. Let's see, Nostradamus and Simultaneous Time. I watched it yesterday. Just wow, Simultaneous Time. Explain that a little bit more, David, because I'm not sure what you're saying there. I have Nostradamus books over here. I've always been fascinated with Nostradamus. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. Explain that a little bit more. Simultaneous Time.
That might be a show.
And how we're.
If
Probably
you
should,
watch
yeah.
Nostradamus and simultaneous time. So that's probably the name of the show. I could be wrong, but
Yeah.
Alien.
That could be the name of it. What is it on Netflix or something? You gotta let us know because we inquiring minds. I don't know.
Well, in some
We
cases,
do.
nosy
We
old
do.
biddies. Hello.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it. So now, all right, no, I'm gonna back it way up. Like, how
Sure.
did you even
Get into
get
this.
into this? Did something happen to you,
Mhm.
that made you get into this? That connected you to the
Yeah.
What was your
Yeah.
first connection?
Well, and I'm sure I'd love to hear your stories too. But with me, it was when my husband passed in 2007. Okay, so his journey, we chronicle in Secrets of Aboriginal Healing, where he went into the outback. He was a physicist, very much into science, right? If it couldn't be proven, it didn't exist. And so he went into the outback. Oh, you're so sweet. That's his picture up there. It's right there. Yeah. So and he went into the outback
super
and
handy.
had experiences with this Aboriginal tribe. Oh, you're good. You're so good. And they opened his mind up. That was the craziest part for him, was that they helped him see that there's a lot of gray area. It can't be proven, but it still exists. And that's when he started communicating to the other side of the veil. And he got really good at just communicating constantly with the other side, being able to see inside bodies, being telepathic. And it was interesting that it was the autistic people who could communicate to him very easily and knew he was communicating to them on a deep subconscious level. So he was really good at that. And I watched him, and I didn't develop it because he's so good. Why would I, right? I'd never been raised with that sort of understanding. So when he passed in 2007, what surprised me is he was showing up every morning at 8 o'clock. He was always really punctual. I was not. And those two always marry, don't they? And so he would show up at 8 o'clock, not 7:59, not 8:01. And he had this particular energetic pattern that I could see, that I knew it was him because it had happened before when he was alive. And he would show up at 8 o'clock. So I started communicating to him and recognizing him. And I did what a lot of people do when you start out, is I put his wedding ring on a golden chain and used it as a pendulum. And that thing really started swinging when he was communicating to me, and just kind of developed it from there. So we all have these abilities. It's just that you start developing them more. And some of us have. Yeah. So and then over time, that was 2007. Now it's like everything's open. The floodgates are open, but he's the one who started it.
Yeah. My late husband, he died 2/7/11. That was the day.
Wow.
Craps. That's what it is. 2/7/11. It's just so crazy. I can laugh because he's so very much still a big, huge part of everything.
Yeah.
He showed himself right away. Right from the get-go in photos. I actually I have pictures and books of
I'm sorry, I have to bring this one up. The best thing was, she was talking to me one day, and it was Valentine's Day, and she had moved from wherever the heck you were in the beginning to where she is now, but whatever, I'm not going to say the name.
On my card, yeah, on that.
44. She got a letter in the mail, and it was just one of those advertisements for jewelry, and it was a husband showing love to his wife, and it was Valentine's Day, but it had her old new address.
It had the new address, but it was.
But she never changed the address, and it has his name on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was his. For me, that was him reminding her that, you know what, I may not be there on Valentine's Day, but I'm still here on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Isn't it interesting? And Gary used to do that too with Valentine's Day. I kind of forgot about that till you said that. He would find ways of getting roses to me, whether it was a friend just dropping them off, or I get a something in the mail with a rose on it.
Yep.
Yeah. And so here's what I started to do in the beginning. And I don't know if it was the same for you ladies or not, but I started, your mind always negates this stuff, right? It just does
Of course.
not
Yep.
want to buy it. So I
Yep.
started keeping track of these synchronicities, these really interesting situations. I started writing them down. And at some point it got to like, okay, there's no way you can't believe this
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
because it's just right there, time after time after time. And then you stop negating it and you start seeing things more easily because you're not in denial.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people will say like, why can't I see them? You know, and you write about
Oh,
that, but that's a good question for you to talk about.
yeah, I think we should bring that up because I think this is where people get into trouble is they're expecting to be able to see them and hear them. And most people are not. They don't have those abilities. Sometimes it's not unusual, especially for the older souls, to have had those abilities in past lives. But this lifetime, you only have clairsentience. I shouldn't say only. You have clairsentience where you feel it with your body.
Yep.
But every single person has clairsentience. It's like a muscle. It's up to you. Oh, good job. It's up to you to develop that. And so you might feel tingling. You might feel just the warmth in your pit of your stomach. You might feel movement in your hair. But clairsentience, that's what everybody has. And that's where you feel it with your body. But
Right.
most
Yeah, your body
people,
is your best tool.
it's your best tool. The body doesn't lie. The mind will, but the body doesn't lie to you. So, but I think a lot of people are expecting when they start to connect to them, I'm going to see them, I'm going to hear them, and it's not working because I'm not seeing them and I'm not hearing them. That's not going to happen. And so you will start to sense, you'll start to get that knowing, you'll start to get that feeling, you'll start to see those dimes or those feathers or whatever. And that's how you start developing that connection.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are things to help you, you know,
Yeah.
like things like this, things like this. You know what I mean? Talking to people like us, watching these shows, sharing these shows. You know what I mean to help get this word and this message out because her job is to share this from them. All right? This is this she was asked to write these things. Okay? All these things are she's meant to do, right? Me and Mama D, are meant to bring these people to you, right?
Yep.
So we're doing our parts. Now you guys do your parts, right? So if you know someone that needs some kind of development that has that struggling little thing going on right now and not sure, you know, if they think they're going crazy or if they think that, you know, because that's what you do, because you do
Yeah,
you find
you
it
do.
nuts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not. You're getting messages, and it's important that you listen to those messages. And people are afraid. Don't be afraid, right? But you want to listen to those messages. If you need help, ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of people look for those big ta-da moments.
Yeah.
Like, I want to, if when you pass, I'm going to come back and I'm going to knock on your door 5 times. I'm going to do a Sheldon knock. No, it's the
In a
little
specific
things.
pattern, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the
Yeah.
little things. It's the coins. It's the feathers. It's for some, it's a butterfly, for the hummingbird. But it's little things. It's a song that repeats. Yes, we all know that radio stations repeat songs over and over. But it's a specific song that's not normally played. Because we all know that this, that it's the top 20 type of thing. But all of a sudden, this song comes out of nowhere, and it's like, there is no way. So stop looking for the big one.
Yeah.
Pay attention to the breeze and the wind.
Yeah,
It works
exactly. You'll find that you'll get that breeze and all this out of nowhere, and you just have that sense, that knowing. I don't know if you feel the same way, but they're very succinct. I'm not going to get. Sometimes I'll just get a word or 2 or 3 words,
Oh
and
God, yeah.
yeah. I mean, they don't. It's very clear. But sometimes, we're expecting a whole big long thing. Like you said, it's simple. Don't complicate it. And so, yeah, you might just. Yeah.
Mary Jane in the chat room said smell.
Yeah.
A lot of people,
Yes.
when my father passed away, there was nobody in my family who was allowed to use Old Spice. My father, I could buy him all kinds of things. I liked karate as a kid, but he was always Old Spice. When he passed, Even to this day, all of a sudden, nobody, my husband doesn't use it, but I can smell Old Spice. It's got that
Yeah.
so when I
Yeah.
smell that, I know it's him, and we have a conversation. It's a one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
Like he's alive, It's like,
Yeah.
woman. I used to drive my father crazy. Hello, I'm a redhead. I do that to everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
it's
People
simple. It's
investigating
simple
too.
things as that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to think of who your audience is when you're investigating. Because you know, your dad may grunt. You know what I mean? Like that's how
Yeah.
he communicated. Ugh. You want a copy? Ugh. That's what you're going to get on
Oh,
a,
yeah.
a recording. That is what you're going to get. So it's like, well, what does this mean? Or even if you're a psychic, and you're getting a message like that. Well, a lot of times people won't communicate that because they're like, well, what the heck is a? It's like, say it.
The thing is,
In the world.
when I'm connecting with somebody, sometimes I'll just see, like you were saying, there's different ways we get it. Sometimes I'll just see, I call them flashcards. There'll be something that'll just pop in my head, whether it's a picture of a word or a picture, and it means squat to me.
Yeah.
If I don't share what I saw, what I get that moment, it's not meant for me to understand because it's not a message to me. It's a message to somebody I'm around, chit chatting with in the coffee shop, or if I all of a sudden I keep getting, like right now I'm getting cigarette smoke. Nobody in this house smokes that. This is like the not the Italian, the French ones. Stands. We have them up here. It's a blue thing. It's a Parisian cigarette, and it stank to high heaven. Okay, this is the nastiest smell, but that's what I get.
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, this
okay.
dog is looking around here and different things. And now we get this little thing, right? Now, we make paranormal equipment, right, for all kinds of things to pick up, right? We just got back from an event, so I have a lot of things in my dining room downstairs just sitting on my big, long buffet. This dining room is massive, right? So I have this little witch thing. It's like a motion detector. And I took it off the table because he had it on the table, and I put it up on this shelf. Now that I had to go for my test the other day. I'm sitting there just about to go, and that thing starts going off in the dining room. And I'm just like, now, why? Why do you want to talk to me now? You know what I mean? So I go in there and I turn on, I had a cat and a dog on the table. Like, if you can set that off, then come over here and set these off. I turned the spirit box on. There was some stuff I couldn't make it out, but I didn't have time to really get into it. But it's just crazy. But I got to say, all right, Mary Jane's in the chat room right now. I was talking to her because we had her on last week, and she helped with our little reading show. We just did.
She was a mini me.
Yeah, we were just pulling some oracle cards, and she was pulling some tarot cards and stuff like that. But we were just talking the other day. She sent me a picture of her hallway right away. I was just like, there's a girl there, and she's saying hello, hello. Like, I'm talking to her, and I'm talking and texting, and I'm just like, yeah, hello, hello. And I'm like, yeah, hello. All right. It just started coming out, and it's going on my thing, and I just sent it. I'm just like, there's someone saying hello, 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 hello in the hallway. So then I took that picture, I sent it to my friend Tammy, and I sent it to my friend Denny, and they both, oh yeah, female spirit, white mist, this, that, the other thing. We're asking Mary Jane to ask this spirit all these questions, and between the three of us, actually more Tammy and myself, we got right down to the girl was Grace. She was 15. She was murdered by a man. Mary Jane's in Vermont, but she wasn't from Vermont. She's from Massachusetts. I said early 1900s, and it was 1910s. It was like, it was like between all of us, it was just insane. Talker, yes, she's talker. Yeah, she really, 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 because now all of a sudden she's been saying hello, 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 hello.
Yeah.
I'm listening. She's gonna go da 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 da.
Yeah. Chatterbox.
And that's what happens. But she has no desire to leave, to cross. She's like there. She's protective of Mary Jane. She's protective of her daughter Shay. She don't really talk to the guys.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean?
Where's the goodies? Why? Hello.
Well, she was murdered by some man, so I don't know what the heck they're gonna do. But what's this one? I gave some power to Shay too. All right, hi Shay. But it was really there's nothing bad about it, but it's just like and I don't see those things all the time. Every time someone sends me a picture,
Mhm.
you know, but that was just like, whoa, you
Yeah.
know, and and it hit me that hard. It hit Tammy that hard. It hit Denny
Mhm.
that hard. You know,
Mhm.
when a spirit wants to come through, it's gonna come
They'll
through.
come through, right? Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
no,
That's
I
interesting.
yeah, I've always loved that. So what time is it? 8:55. So Athena's going to be coming on pretty soon here. Hopefully, I mean she's doing her soccer mom thing, I'm sure. So I don't want to get into anything too deep until she gets here. But Tammy even saw that. Oh that's right. That's what I wanted to bring up too. Okay, yeah. So Tammy was actually saying, oh, there goes Mama D again. She has internet issues up there in Canada. Sometimes it's really bad, and sometimes it is what it is. But anyway, yeah. So Tammy also said what she saw, she's doing a lot more like shamanistic and remote viewing type things and stuff. She's like, "Do you have a bureau or something with a runner with white flowers? Because the girl likes white flowers." So Mary Jane just got these flowers from a friend of hers, like a week prior, and just set it up on this table with the runner. So she sends the picture to me that I could send to Tammy. I'm like, there you go. And she's like, yeah, well, the girl likes those flowers. I'm like, well, maybe
Wow.
that would help her to cross over to
Yeah.
on, But the girl was looking for someone. She had no desire. Oh, and then we were getting religious, that she was highly religious. And Tammy was picking up like she wanted to be with a nun, or looking for a nun or something with a nun.
Mhm.
So it was just,
Mhm.
it was so crazy. Oh, I'm so sorry, Mama. Well, work on it and, get back to us. Yeah, she's saying, yeah. But it's just amazing, like how vast it is, and how many people, like what you have for your gifts are amazing, right? Amazing. The way you communicate with the angels, with the spirit guides, all of that. And I like to communicate with the people, you know, um, like, that are in my house and everything else, it's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting. We all have different abilities and different gifts, and I didn't even know that. I had no clue that I had these abilities, but it needed to go through that process. I needed to lay the groundwork. I needed Gary and all these different steps to take place before I was able to recognize it and develop it and continue to develop it. And that's one of the things you can ask your angels or guides to help you with, is help you develop it, help you recognize their guidance more, help you recognize. And if you misinterpret it or miss it, they'll just keep bringing it around again. If it's important, they will get that information to you.
oh, you stay well, one way or the other, because if you can't pick up on it yourself, they're going to, like, okay, how do I say this? All right, here's you, a non-believer. I am so shut down. I'm not going to get anything. All right, so that's this person. All right, but someone out there across the other on the other side wants to get a message to them. They're not listening, so they're constantly going, just like this girl was like, hello, hello, hello.
Yeah.
It's like, so that if they're not going to get it there, they are going to reach out to someone of in this person's soul group, soul family, um, regular
Yes.
family, or close knit friends, someone that can pick up on it and say, hey, you know, and go to them so that they can get the message,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
the friend. And it's like, and it does work like that, because that's happened. I mean, it's just, it never ceases to amaze me, uh, how many ways you can communicate and how many ways things come
Yes.
to you that are just phenomenal. It's just
Right.
amazing.
Right.
Fabulous.
When Gary first passed over, he would pop lyrics of songs that had meaning into my head. We had a certain song that was our song. He would just pop that into my head out of nowhere. And then he would also pop other songs, the lyrics, it just be playing in my head, where you think it's coming from your mind, and you just start finding yourself humming that tune. It's like, oh yeah, that was our song. It was just different ways. And then you start becoming more aware, and you start noticing, right? And then you start paying attention more.
Yep.
And there's a lot there.
You see this picture here? All right.
Yeah.
This is in a library. Okay. This is on the second floor of a library. And outside that window, there's that figure like looking in.
Yeah.
Right? The bright people were sitting there where we were talking, we were investigating, we're doing whatever. And I'm doing my flare. And I look and I'm like, oh my God, there is a being watching out the window. I'm like, well, could that be someone out there? I'm like, there's no way in hell they would need a 30-foot ladder because it's on the second floor, and it's a huge building.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I don't even know how high the ceilings were in that place.
Yeah.
But I'm like, oh my God, and they just when they're curious, they're hanging around, like I just seem to catch them. I'm like the queen of the flare, you know what I mean? I catch the flare. But this right here, this was my husband when he passed. The two faces there.
Oh, wow.
In the book. All right, that is the sofa that he passed away on, but his face wasn't on that pillow. It was down. He was face first on a coffee table, and when I picked him up, his face was filled with like fluid. So that's how it looked, right there.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. It's so clear. It's so clear.
This was him with the mustache. And
wow. What a handsome couple.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So
my baby, but you can see see the mustache, the nose.
It's so clear. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know how he did that, and it was just like he was so powerful. It's insane.
Yeah.
But now we have with us Athena. I can't remember which. I'm just going to add you. I can't remember which one you want to do.
Hi, Robbie. Well, we are. How are you? So nice to see you on here.
Nice to see you too.
Oh, what a blessing we get to share a moment together. I love this.
I love your background. I think I commented on it before, but I just love what you've got going there.
Thank you. My angel wings, of course.
Yes, right? I think I commented last time I saw that. It's just like, wow.
Oh, thank you. Yes, this is my little sanctuary, my healing room. It's really, and where I healed myself actually. So it's kind of special to now do all my spiritual work here as well. So,
yeah. So we have a choice of Angelite or Celestite.
Wow.
So which one do you want to do?
Well, I was going to do Angelite, but we can also do Celestite. They're both great.
They're both
fabulous.
They both really work well with today's show.
Yes.
So we're gonna bow down. We're gonna give her center stage so she can talk about this lovely crystal. Nice to see you, by the way.
I know. Nice to see you. Where is Mama D?
And Jeanette is just being a pain in the butt.
Oh gosh, that
she's
internet.
She's trying to come back.
Okay. Good.
All right. You talk about.
Thank you. Well, hello, loves. I am Athena Barry, Reiki Master and author of award-winning book, Raise Your Vibes, and creator of Crystal Reiki Healer. And of course, I am so grateful to be back for another week on the Fox Den Show with our Crystal of the Week segment. So let's dive in. So for this week's show, I really, as Gina just pointed out, I was torn between, do I do selenite, do I celestite, or do I do angelite? So ultimately, I went with angelite because this is the stone that I personally always connect with. And I just always feel called to this energy anytime I'm working with the angels. And it is known as the stone of the angels. So this beautiful crystal, it connects our higher consciousness, right, with our human needs and our human desires through communication with either our guardian angels, our angels that drop in when we need them, and our spirit guides. Angelite connects our throat chakra to our third eye and our crown chakras. So this helps us to communicate our intuitive thoughts and our divine intuition with a calmness of the mind. So we're able to speak then all of these downloads and, this intuitive guidance that's coming through. It's also an excellent choice for our communication skills. And when these are called into focus, helping us to communicate effectively, efficiently, and with a spiritual connection for our chosen words. Likewise, this is great. This is a great choice for helping to bring a sense of peace to any situation where conflict or ego makes communication a little more difficult. So this is especially true when dealing with, people or even ourselves. We all have our moments, right? So even ourselves and others, when we have like harsh or sharp tongue, or if we're constantly in this state of like gossiping, or we're around anybody that we suspect is maybe lying to us or lies regularly, because this brings in that energy of the angels and that divine light. So we're speaking our truths, but in a way that can be heard by the other person, so that they understand what you mean to say and you can understand what they mean to say, because intention is so important. And this really helps bring that clarity to our intentions when speaking. Miscommunication, of course, is one of the biggest causes for conflict. And Angelic really helps everyone with that, that sense of diplomacy and being from a place of love. This stone is also wonderful for lucid dreaming practices. So this, in a way that it allows us to remember the guidance that comes through, the guidance that we experience during our dream state. So it's also an excellent choice for accessing higher dimensions, if you will. So great if you're working on developing like your psychic powers or channeling, mediumship, clairvoyance, as well as spiritual healing, as I do with Reiki. This stone activates, as I said, because it activates our throat, our third eye, and our crown. It's really incredible, because when you receive those downloads from spirit, especially when you're doing intuitive work and you're being intuitively guided, you're also able to bring that into present life, especially when you're looking for guidance for yourself or you're offering guidance for others. Like if you're doing oracle cards or tarot cards, this is an excellent choice to keep close to you. Angelic is a softer stone, so it's the hardness that's measured as 3.5, which is pretty soft. It's considered pretty soft. So you won't see it too much worn as jewelry or like in beaded, beaded bracelets or beaded necklaces, but you will see it as, when it's wire wrapped, and it's an excellent choice. If you can find a wire wrapped one, that is wonderful to keep, especially if you keep it up a little closer to your throat chakra. Most specimens of Angelic will be found, and it's known actually as blue anhydrite, right, which is actually found mostly in Peru, which of course makes sense. It's the home of so many beautiful indigenous peoples and practices. So I'm not surprised that's where we'd find it. Ways you can use this stone, well, aside from lucid dreaming and intuitive work, of course, it will be excellent under your pillow, like when you go to bed, especially if you want to work on those dreams. It's wonderful to hold while you meditate, while you're practicing your spiritual activities, drawing tarot cards or oracle cards or any intuitive healing. I love to use Angelic in my crystal grids for clients, but also just anytime you feel called to connect, or you need to connect with your angels, you need guidance from your spirit guides or your angels, pop a piece in your bra, stick it in your pocket, and then it'll allow that open communication with the divine. And of course, I love to leave you with a wonderful affirmation to help you connect with your crystal's energy. And for this one, I really love, I am safe knowing my angels are with me, guiding me towards my highest good. Now, if you don't have this stone and you would like to connect with its energy, I have an ASMR Reiki video on my own YouTube channel that you can watch and enjoy, and how to create, these energy shifts for yourself in your life and better connect with your own angels if you feel called to. And of course, this crystal, of course, will be featured in my new Oracle deck called Raise Your Vibes Crystal Cards, available now for pre-order everywhere books are sold. And that wraps it up for this week's Crystal of the Week segment with Angelic here on the Fox Den Show. Thank you so much for having me join you this week. I hope that this has brought value to your show.
Thank you, honey.
I love you.
That was fabulous. And that could not have been any better of a stone, as always.
I mean, it's just a stone of wonder, isn't it? And with Robbie here, I just thought, you know, her and her amazing books, like, you know, and while you're reading her book, you know, you can keep a piece of this, you know, next to you. So as you're reading, oh, yes, you have it. I love it.
I have all her books. She's such a great author.
I'm a little jealous.
I can't wait. I haven't read these yet. I've looked through, you know, like the prelim,
Yes.
because I just got them today.
Amazing.
I read my Angels in Waiting, but I got all these other ones today. I'm just like, I can't wait to read them.
Yes, and there's a workbook too, right? Yeah.
60 days, baby.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Because it's one thing, right, to read the book. It's another to have a way to implement, you know, the tools, put it into practice. Yeah.
Right.
Good
because
job.
again, the same thing. You get the questions asked all the time too. And, you know, and she just got everything in here. You know, what are my spirit guides? Are our spirit guides the same as angels? Are archangels the same as this? You know, it's like, no. No, they're all.
Let me break it down for you.
Yeah, you know, and this does it really simply. So this is, you know, and it's not a hefty read. You can, you know, use it today, really, if you want to, but then you want to keep it handy. This is the nice new one that she sent me. This is mine with the 900,000 dog hairs in it, right, that I had first. But I mean, it's like your book. I have all the markings in your book and everything for the things that you want to go to. But it's going to change.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's great because then when you have those marked, you know, you can turn to it anytime you need that guidance. Like, wait, what was that part about the archangels? Or, you know, how do I connect to spirit guides? And it's like, boom, right there. Robbie's book. Got it.
And crystals are such a fabulous way to, you know, what a great tool. And I love the idea of putting it under your pillow.
Oh, yes. Yes. I regularly sleep with my crystals.
Yeah.
It's a running joke in our house. You know, mom sleeps with rocks. Mom sleeps with the rocks. I lost her rocks. I've got, you know, you always know when mom is changing. You always know when mom is changing because I go in and you hear like all these
yeah.
Sorry.
Bathtub, you know, all these.
Yeah.
It's like, I've talked to her. I've called her, like video called her before. And she's been in the bathtub, and she's like, "Oh, you gotta see my crystals I have."
I'm like, wait, hold on, let me get the angle right, so you're not.
Oh, she's so funny. But she walks her walk, and that's why I love her.
Yeah,
you know, her intention is to help people. She does, and her book shows it. Just like her books show it.
That is a fabulous title. It's a fabulous topic. It makes a huge difference. Raising your vibe.
Yes, thank you. And especially it just happened to come. I mean, there's no coincidences, right? But, you know, it happened to come at a time when, you know, I mean, I wrote this during the pandemic and then, you know, we thought we were coming out of the pandemic and it's like, oh, no, not yet. You're not off the hook yet. Yeah. And now what we're seeing is people coming out of, you know, myself included, we're coming out of these lockdowns and it's kind of like this new normal where it's like, wait, how do I
know. They're like, oh, I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to get out. I can't wait to get out. And then it's like, oh my God, I have to get out.
Yeah. And life was not the same, you know, when you got out, you know, it was like, oh my gosh, now what? And so, you know, hopefully that helps guide people in ways to, you know, and again, like with your workbook, you know, it gives you actionable things you can do. Mm-hmm. So you're not just reading it and then, you know, you set it down and you don't think about it anymore. You're actually if you put these into practice, you can really, raise your vibes.
And it becomes your normal way to live, and then you have all this a vast amount of help right
and
there.
There's so much, whatever works for you. And I mean, I also have a whole section, a chapter dedicated to angels, because I mean, how could you not, right?
How could you not? It's a huge part of it. And I hope people appreciate that when you raise your vibe, like you're talking about, you just find yourself in more happiness, sustained peace. You just don't go into that stress or anxiety. You don't go into those lower vibrational emotions, and that's worth pursuing. And crystals, like you were saying, can help you get there faster.
Oh, absolutely. I was laying on my bed. I used to be here in this room, healing from back surgery. And I had crystals just all over, my bed, because I was in this giant brace and, couldn't move. And I was alienated from my family. And let me tell you, I turned to my angels a lot during that time. And even though this was such a pivotal moment in my life where I had so much physical pain, I was able to kind of transcend that, because I would raise my own vibes. And when you raise your vibes, you are so much more open to divine guidance. You are so much more, it's almost like you can hear them so clear. Your angels come through.
Yeah.
And that is such a gift. So of course I had to make a crystal deck, because
I can't wait to get I honestly, God, I can't wait to get.
I'm so excited. We keep doing like edits and final edits and all this, and we just did the last one where we were naming each card, and not with the crystal, but like with the emotion or the feeling or the sentiment attached to it, and it's off to print. I'm so excited.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
I can see that really resonating. I mean, I could see that a lot of people really enjoying that.
Well, crystals are, a tangible thing, right? So it's easier for people to, for all of us to, because we're on a physical plane, it's easier us to connect with something that's physical. We can say, okay, this is, and when you know what it's for and you know what you need, or if you don't and you pull a card and it, divine guidance comes in, your angels come in and tell you, you can hold on to that card or that crystal. I mean, the energy of the crystal is in the card, but you can hold on to that and create, positive changes for your life. So you can, feel better, live a little happier.
Those cards that you pull, even though it might not make sense to you right at the second that you pull it, something in the very near future is going to happen that is exactly the card that you need to have with you at for what either has happened, what is going to happen, or in your present. You know what I mean? It's just
and I do that with books too. I don't know if you do this, but I'll have one of my with spiritual books, not necessarily like novels, right? But like with Angels in Waiting, for example. In the morning, get up and just flip it open to a page, pop open a page, read that chapter or that paragraph. Even maybe you're short on time, read that paragraph. Yeah. That's what you need for that day. Yeah. And it's such a blessing to have that. So I think you should keep Angels in Waiting like on your bedside.
Yeah.
Personally, absolutely. I mean,
it's a go-to guide. It really is, because these are the questions that people in the field that like people know that what I do. They ask me these questions all the time. A lot of the questions that are in here they ask.
Yeah. So and if you're sleeping with Angelic, if you're sleeping with this beauty, and you've got some dreams popping up, open the book and there's Raise Your Vibes. Open Angels in Waiting and see like, what is the message that I'm meant to hear that correlates with my dream? And I'm telling you, you'll see the synchronicity there. It's so cool, because you've got crystal energy, you've got angel energy, you've got your own intuitive gifts and connection. It's, there's magic when we pull these tools together.
Yes. And it may not make sense, like Gina said, it may not make sense in that moment, but eventually it will. Yeah.
Well, watch, you're going through your day, you're having a hard day, and then all of a sudden you're like, that point that I read earlier, that was it. Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah. And or someone will say something to you that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Or you hear it on the radio. Does that ever happen for you? I used to think that was crazy.
I'm smelling coffee right now. I don't know why.
Wow.
Coffee.
really strong.
And Mama B was getting cigarettes, so it sounds like a cafe or something going on here. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, maybe she's having a conversation in the coffee shop. Yeah.
My coffee pot's going off downstairs for some unknown.
Oh.
I don't know. It's set for the
Somebody's
morning.
trying to get your attention. Wake up, Gina. Wake up.
I know. Yeah, it's really strong.
That's true. Coffee is it'll wake you up. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
I
I need-
actually can't even drink too much coffee because it, I have like my blood pressure will fluctuate. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I gotta take it easy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aw.
Jody says, I don't sing much
Jody.
anymore, but when I do, I immediately feel my angels around me. She's got a beautiful voice.
Aw.
Beautiful voice.
I
Oh.
love that.
Oh, hold on. Mama
Well,
B.
and singing is such a beautiful way to raise your vibes too, because that's sound healing. But you're using your own voice. You don't even need a tool, right? Oh.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, bye. I gotta send Mama an email thing so she can get back in. I think she rebooted like her whole entire thing.
Oh boy.
Goodness.
She's
Yeah,
tenacious.
apparently.
She's tenacious. So when is your deck coming out? Do you have a
So
date?
it releases, yes, it releases March 23. So I think it's March 7th. No, March 11th. I think it's March 11th.
Yeah.
3/11.
That'll be here before you know it.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It goes so quick.
Yeah.
So exciting. And now that I finished it and it's gone off to print, I'm like, okay, so what's the next one? What am I writing?
What's next?
I gotta me and Mama D gotta get off our butts and finish our thing, our project.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
I know.
It's
I know.
like an oracle book, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can flip to the page.
Wow.
Yeah.
There she is.
Yay!
Yay! I'm sorry I didn't see that. I get so involved. The 14th, it says, Mary Jane says 14th. Says
14th. Oh, thank you, Mary Jane. Says
We love
Amazon.
you,
Yes.
Yeah.
We love
Okay.
you, Mary Jane.
Yeah.
Aw, we love you too, Mama D. I
know,
missed you
yay,
last
already
week.
back. Oh, no, can't hear you yet.
No.
No. Family show.
See, the angels are muting her.
Yeah, they booted her last time she was going to say something. It was like, poof. That was the first time she was kind of like, see, that's what happens.
Oh, that's funny.
That should work now.
Aw.
Yay. Oh, my goodness. Hi.
Okay, so
Welcome
I
back.
came back just before Athena leaves. Athena, I'm going to be checking my mailbox every day for my new deck.
Every day. Well, you have to wait at least until March 14th.
March
That's when it will release.
2023?
March 2023. Yes, yes. It
Yeah,
just went off to
good
print.
news.
This is how those printers, their schedules work. And
Tell the printers they're going to get a phone call from a crazy redhead.
Wouldn't it be wild that if we did a reading show and we all had your deck and we all pulled the same card for someone?
Yeah.
That'd be
that would
true.
be so much fun. That would be such a trip. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I love it.
Who knows? It could happen. It could happen. It could
I
happen here.
love it.
The only way you're going to find that out is if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then if we do
Yes.
this pop-up
Yes.
show, that'll be the only way that you'd know.
Yes.
That's right. Well, then I announce it too on Instagram. So I guess if you follow Crystal Reiki Healer, you'll
Pop-up,
maybe
the
get a
pop-up,
little heads up.
the pop-up.
Mary
Yeah,
Jane's already
yeah,
pre-ordered.
No, well, probably go live and say, hey, what's going on?
Aww.
Oh,
So
pre-order.
what was your favorite part of Angels in Waiting?
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you
Yeah.
were raving about it. I mean,
yeah.
oh my gosh. So Robbie, I talked to her before this show and I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to have Robbie. You're going to love her. And then she was like, I can't put the book down. I was like,
And see, I mean, it's just like, it's insanity. I can't tell you what my favorite part is because it's everything. It's
I
everything.
love it.
And what it really is. I love everything that she says about intention because intention is so
Yes.
crucial in every aspect of all of this. I mean, I think it's like that base, right, that we need. So, I mean, that's a thing I think everyone should really kind of focus on.
Yes.
Yeah, and intentionally use your powerful mind, and that's exactly how she put it. I just love how she writes. I like how perfectly the words are perfectly chosen.
I'll give Judy credit for that. My co-writer Judy, she's great. She's great. Yeah, and it was really interesting because Judy, when she started this was kind of a new topic for her, and I don't know that she really knew that much about it, but man, I knew that they were going to start showing up. These angels are going to start showing up in her life. And she said there were so many times and so many situations that happened that just like there is no doubt, because I knew they had to make themselves known to her. So yeah, it was really interesting. But I do remember one of the things when we were writing this book, I would send her the information and she kind of turned it into story form. We were taking what people typically need help with, because I've been doing consults for a long, long time, and I could see where they were getting hung up, where they needed help, career, finances, health, emotions, children, whatever. So we tried to make sure that we covered all those areas by using situations that had happened to me in the past. And one of the things that the angels, of course, are guiding me on what to put in there, and they told me how, when you use their help, it's like going from 5 amps of power on your own to up to 5,000 amps with their help. And Judy kept sending it back with 500. And I'm like, am I getting this wrong? And they're like, no, it really is 5,000. It really is that much of a difference. So yeah, it was really interesting writing with a co-writer who this was kind of a new subject to her, but man, she came on board really fast once I knew they were going to do that.
No coincidences in this universe, this world, as anything, as to how you two worked together, how the angels helped you guys work together.
Yeah.
Athena writing her book so that I had her. This is how I met her, having her on the show. And now she's part of our show, and she's a great, and I love her. And, through podcasts, I met Mama D, who is like, I adore every aspect of her.
Come on, admit it. I'm your royal pain in the ass that you can't get rid of.
No, I'm going to veto that comment. What is this deprecation stuff?
No.
We're not buying into it. We're not buying into it.
I make sure people don't forget who I am, whether I'm so nice or.
Mary Jane says, Robbie, where is the best place to buy your book?
Oh, I love to, and I'm sure you're the same way, Athena. I love to support the mom and pop bookstores. You can get it anywhere, but it's nice to be able to get it through your local bookstore. You can ask them to order it, but otherwise it's everywhere, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, whatever. Yeah, it's on my website too, if you can't find it. And it is available in other, you can, I talked to a woman this morning from the other side of the planet and in New Zealand, and it's like it's available there, it's available in Australia, these things are available all over, so yeah, you can get it.
Yeah, they really do go all over. And
yes,
and again, like you're saying, going into your local bookshop, I mean, these poor bookshops have struggled so much with the pandemic. So if you can go into one of those, just, tell them what you want and they will order it for you. And it usually comes in like a day, right? I mean, it's super fast.
Yeah,
so, I would say do the same. But of course, Amazon is, 2-day shipping or whatever. But, local shops are the best.
I do everything Amazon. It's like, oh, I need toothpaste. Amazon. Seriously.
Just because Gina doesn't like to go shopping, but when I get down there, shopping.
Yes.
Well, it depends on the shopping.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Well, bookstores, I go into these bookstores and I always end up with like 5 books. I go in there with the intention to buy one,
anything like that,
and I come home with 5 and maybe an Oracle deck too. And then my daughter's got to pick one too, and my boys have to pick one, and I can't say no because they're books. I'm like, well, they're books, so
handful of crystals. Maybe a new pendulum. I mean, who knows? But
stores,
I don't mind spending. I don't spend money. I'll not a problem. Food, I have a problem spending money.
Grocery in the basket.
Actually, a lot of crystal stores have have these books too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true.
A lot of these like metaphysical and crystal stores, they'll carry, you know, especially a book on angels. I mean, that's, you know, kind of a, you know, like a go-to for them. So you can always ask your local crystal shop too.
Yeah, it's
Great idea.
awesome, you know, and to find out about like we haven't even gotten into archangels yet, you know, so it's like who's your favorite archangel, Robbie?
Well, it depends what I need them for. You know, I mean, that sounds terrible,
Who
but
has called on the most?
I mean, I love them all, but
Michael.
Michael is such a fabulous archangel for protection. I always call, but Raphael is there for healing. And so, though, actually, Michael and Raphael are part of my healing team. They're just part of the team. But, you know, when I get into, and I don't know if you ladies go through this experience too, where sometimes you have so much energy running through you, it gets uncomfortable. And then I will call on Metatron to help, you know, ground me and get me back up to feeling okay again. Because sometimes it's just enough to, you know, you're just trying to stay seated.
Right.
Not fall off. When I was doing the, I created audiobooks out of a couple of my books. And so I'm going into the studio every day recording, and they have so much energy. I'm sure it's with you too, Athena, when you're doing these, creating these things, there's a lot of energy that you're putting into whether it's the deck or the book or whatever. So when I was doing the audiobook, it was over a very short period of time as opposed to the book, which is longer. And it was so condensed that when I was doing that audiobook, I could hardly sit in a chair because it's like, whoa, I feel like I need to be duct taped to this chair because I feel like I'm going to fall right over. It's so much energy. Yeah. So
so much energy in a short time. But you're doing it in hours on end. But then I would do that writing too. I was like a crazy person. That's why my husband's like, what? You're going to write another one? Stop. Because I would stay up till like dawn, right? Up till dawn. And then it's like, I pause for a second as soon as like when I realize, oh, the sun's coming up, I'm like, I should probably stop. And it's like, whoa.
Like,
whoa. I actually have to I should probably sleep.
Or eat something too.
Or eat something. Yes. No.
And you can feel it coming on before it, like if you're going to do a show like this, you could feel it coming on a couple hours before. I could see it this morning when I'm laying in bed. I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good show.
So are you having fun?
Oh yeah.
Not at all.
I knew I would.
I know. As soon as I met you, it was like it was an instant connection. I'm just like, I love her. I love her.
Thanks. Same here. Right back at you.
Yeah, and the same with like Athena. You know, I feel like I've known her forever.
She's always
talk about a bright light, right?
Yeah. Exactly. You know? I saw her getting drained while she was doing her cards. She wanted to get them done so badly, you know.
I did. And I did it. And I have to say, working with a publisher really helps because then they have, they just have so many resources to help you. Like they have, the copyright editor and somebody handle all the proofing and, check all the T's, dot all the I's, right? Cross the T's, right? So that really helps because then you're allowed to just kind of be the creative process and allow it to flow and write it out. And then they kind of go over and fine tune it, make sure everything, makes sense, put it in the right place.
And see things that you probably didn't recognize. It's like, oh yeah, that probably would be a good thing to bring up,
or ask questions even.
Or even cover designs.
They'll come back with questions like, well, what do you mean by, and how does this work if these two, and I always love that. And I welcome that because I think, well, if she has this question, so many people are too, even though it makes total sense to me. Because that's the thing though, you're so used to doing it. You're so used to being in this practice and, or in your case, connecting with and channeling with angels that you don't, sometimes we forget that not everybody knows how to do that. To have those questions where you can really clarify and so I really appreciate it. I have just a brilliant, editor to help me with this, which is so cool. So cool.
Yeah. Exciting.
I'm glad.
And a co-writer, right? To have a co-writer with you. It's just amazing. You kind of bounce off of each other, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So cool.
And Judy's amazing. She is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know Judy too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her co-writer. So wait, her co-writer is wait. I'm pointing all in the wrong direction.
Judy Katz.
She did like some kind of. I don't know if I had her on my show. I'm not sure if I had. It's like, did we have Judy Katz when you were here? It's like
I'm not sure if it was on your show or on my show, but I remember having her.
That's so cool.
Yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. She's amazing. She's so inspiring. She's just got just a ton of energy. And I can't tell you how many books a week she reads, but that woman is an avid reader who goes through more books than in a day. It's amazing what she can accomplish. It's amazing. I met her. I went to New York to be on a television show in New York City. And somehow I ended up I ended up staying with her for a couple of days. And she's the one who said, and I didn't even know who she was. And I was blessed enough to be in her Manhattan apartment. And she said, you should write a book about this. And I'm like, oh. And I wake up in the morning, she's got the whole thing outlined. I'm like, oh.
Oh, you were serious about that. Yeah.
Yep. I know. Me and Mama D, we encourage a lot of people to write, like, especially when they come on and they have, like one book. They have got their one book out, and it was so great. And it's like, there's another book in you. We will hound them until they write that other book.
I think you guys are going to start getting hounded now.
I was just going to say, you two have some work to do.
Yeah.
Well, as of sometime in October, I will no longer be working my day job. So I will have at least 6 months to work, Gina.
Now October, my schedule, November, my schedule will start to lighten up too. So that's going to be good. And it'll be perfect timing, divine timing. We'll be done by the end of November, right?
It sounds like November you're writing and finishing this oracle book.
Yeah, it sounds like it's time. Yeah. That sounds like a cool thing to be doing. Yeah.
Let's go, ladies. We can do it. I already got the cover design. We already got we each have to write 182 pages.
I think you just start getting into the rhythm, and then
for me, I have to work in there on my screen with me. That's because if you leave me to my own devices, I've got laundry to do, I've got dishes to do, I've got this.
That's part of it. And when you have that creative spark, when you get that creative spark, you just go, and you sit and you let it like unload, like just woof, and then if you're like me, you realize it's 6 a.m. and you're like, oh my God.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
And be like, oh no, like when I was doing it too, because I did. I started out going crazy, and I'm like, I got 10 pages done in like an hour. I'm like, all right, I get that. And she's like, wow, I got like, and you did too. We were kind of keeping up with each other at the beginning. She's like, I get 8 pages, I get 10 pages, I get this page, I'm like, great.
You know what helps me a lot is having a deadline. And I think that's part of why having a publisher is so great for me personally, because they're like, I need this text by blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, okay, I've got so many, weeks left or whatever. And that's when I really like that creative flow. So November, we've got a deadline for you, Mama D, Gina B. We got some deadlines. So, by November 20th, I want to start proofreading some of this.
We got to figure out the form. Do it. November. We're gonna have it done by the end of November.
Athena.
Right?
I love it.
Athena, what was the date you just said? November what?
20th.
20th.
Okay, my birthday.
See?
Oh my gosh. See, angels don't they have a sense of humor?
Yeah, they do. They do. I know. I love that. Yeah. Something to proofread by November 20th. Yep.
That is
Love it.
amazing. Oh my gosh. See, because then you can just go and, like let your hair down
Just
and
give
enjoy
it-
your birthday.
What a nice birthday present.
That's so
Oh, that'd be
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, see,
good.
angels are at it again. I love it. I love it.
No, I know. Earth angels. All right.
Didn't know this was going to happen today, did you?
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, now I know how it feels when we do this to
Yeah.
other people. Like, get
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. Well, there's always timing. I was kind of surprised that the angels in waiting took us longer than it normally takes. And I thought, God, were we kind of screwing around or what was going on? And it's like, no, they didn't want it out sooner than it happened.
Yeah.
They knew because if we had stuck to our original schedule, it would have been out in 2019. They didn't want it out then because the pandemic was supposed to happen. So, yeah, but I'm getting with you two ladies, Gina B and Mama D, it's time to start.
Yes.
Oh, we've started.
We started. We've
But
got
I mean,
we've
to
got quite a
continue.
bit.
Then I have my other.
To go to the next step. Yeah.
So we have the Oracle book that we're working on, and
Yeah.
then I have my book that I'm working on.
Yeah.
That I pick up and put down all the time. But I'm always busy reading, books for the
Somebody
show.
else's books. Yeah.
Joe,
Stop doing that, woman.
stop doing
Yeah,
that.
but it's so much fun,
No, and now I have these.
In my face. Yeah,
These
I
are I
totally understand. I get it.
Yeah.
But
want.
Mm,
I know.
But books like that are really amazing because it also opens your own consciousness and
Yes,
it
it
opens up your creative flow so that when you do turn then to your own projects, you've got so much more, knowledge in your toolbox that it helps you to help that, that energy flow as you write.
Yeah.
So there's a reason, divine timing, so don't think that, it has to be done now or, you put it off. There's a reason for everything.
Yep.
And that's why November 20th is your date because that's
It's a
happens
good
to be,
I'm
happens to be a birthday girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna tag
So
it
how
on my calendar.
How can I ask my angels, for those that don't know, that I want to get that done? Do I just say in my mind, okay?
Yeah. How do you ask? How do you word something
And
to ask your guardian angels to help you with this?
yeah, thank you
Whether
for
it's this
helping
or
me. It's and keep it simple. Really, it comes. Thank you for helping me with this book. And that means all aspects, not just writing it, but also finding the agent, finding the publisher, the timing. So because they know what works best and they know how to help you. I originally wasn't going to use Judy for this Angels in Waiting. I had somebody else in mind and they're like, no, Judy's your gal. And so it's like, okay. So they know who's best to help you. And so when you allow them to guide you, and you guys are so tuned in, you'll know if you're not on the right track because things are just not going to flow. But it's time. It's time. That's what I keep getting.
When it's meant to be, it will be, and everything falls into place. And that is divine timing.
And now you have two ladies. Oh, let me point the other way. Now you have two ladies that are going to be on top of you girls. And I'm always backwards here.
I know. I'm going to write on my calendar November 21st.
All right, I'm going to write it in here. Because when you get it out of your head and on paper,
just to see how it's going.
That is the beginning.
Check in, check in.
Yeah, right? You're going to get an email. How's the writing going?
Well, hey, you got my number.
That's right. That's right. I can even send you a card. I can write your address. Yeah, that's right.
And I know you will.
Here's my check for that, or here's my money for your book. I'm pre-ordering a copy. That's what I should do.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Oh, you guys are great. I love you guys. Oh my God.
And then I'll see you on the show. So every week. And we'll be like, so how did you get this week?
That's right.
How did that go?
Oh, wow.
Well, we'll have an awful lot of writing.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah, I know. Right now it's like, oh my gosh, I get all this stuff going on and this wedding that's in the middle of October.
Yeah.
Which is great. These are all beautiful things.
Yeah.
These are all beautiful things.
Yeah. They'll help you. They'll help clear your calendar. Trust me. Yeah. They are.
They will.
Yes. you
And
are
every experience might be one of those messages that are meant to be in your oracle book.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it might invoke an emotion that you have like at this wedding or prepping for the wedding, or, you know, whatever it is that you've got going on in your personal lives. There might be something where you're like, this is what would help me through something like that. And then boom, you know, you got a page. See, there you go.
I got three just from what you just said right there. The three.
Aww.
So, Mama, I'm 3 more ahead of you.
Uh-oh.
You might have to mute her.
It's okay. You can't mute my mind.
I love you, Mama.
I just built you a castle.
Oh my God.
Oh, I love that. But yeah, it's true. Like, you know, even life experiences come through. You know what some writers do, and I don't know if this helps, you know, would help you. Some keep like a little journal, like a little pocketbook, you know, especially for something like oracle guidance. You know, you have you know, one of these like poofs of, you know, inspiration, you know, jot that down. And you can always return to it, you know, later and fine tune it.
Little books everywhere. I'm always saying that, really seriously, because once you get it out of here, because in here it's just random thoughts, drive you crazy, get you overwhelmed. But you get them out of here and you get them on paper, and then you have a plan. And then
I mean, I have these little guys like literally everywhere.
That's my newest one.
Just everywhere.
That's why you've got another one coming. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't help myself. It's just like,
yeah.
And me and Robbie are like with the Post-it notes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
whatever works. Whatever works. Yeah.
Post-it notes all over the house.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, it helps.
My husband crazy with
love that.
Okay.
I mean, you know, it's amazing. I mean, I even have that in Raise Your Vibes. Like, write it down for yourself and stick it like up in the bathroom mirror or something, because then, you know, you can return to it earlier. You see it.
Yeah, I think he's another fox lover. He just said he hasn't been in for a while.
Wow.
And, he's a fox lover. So, hi Jacob. He went to one of our investigations with us out of Rolling Hills, I believe.
Oh wow, how cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys got stories. You got stories.
I got tons of stories. Oh my God, that's what I should really write a book about. Is holy crap of stories. That's the title right there. Holy crap! If I got stories, yeah.
Yes.
There it is. But I'm writing that down. Holy crap!
I think I'd buy that book. Wouldn't you? Holy crap! If I got stories.
Oh, totally. Oh, yeah. Right. Be like, oh yeah, what kind of stories you got? I bet mine top. Oh wow, you really do have stories.
Right? I do. And some of my stories are already in books. That's.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
You know, but yeah. Enough about us. This is supposed to be about Robbie here.
No. It's about the angels today, and it's and their messages, which come up in the most interesting ways, right?
Don't they though?
They are.
They do. But this is exactly it. This is exactly how it works. You know, is when we were talking at the beginning of the show about one hand helping the other, and on this side of the veil and on the other, right? This is exactly it.
And what they just told me now is, and if you're missing the messages, we'll keep bringing it around and we'll keep bringing it through different people until you get it. So I love how we're turning it back on you two. So this is the message that they wanted to get across today.
Sorry.
She's going to lose her connection again, but yeah.
You know, zap.
Yeah.
Don't you love how she hasn't. Right, she's been here, so
how perfect timing, right?
Right.
What is that here?
Yeah, if my wife gets this council job, we'll be able to have every second weekend together. That's nice. She's been working 7 days a week for years.
Wow.
Once or so, we'll be able to have a proper holiday, or a last holiday together was in 2003. Yeah, holidays are tough. You know, no one's really had too many. Oh, and Mary Jane said November 20th.
Oh my gosh.
Equals 1 in numerology. Oh, it's a powerful number. Oh, I got chills now again.
Oh.
Short word.
Wow. Love how that November 20th came up. Yeah.
I mean, when that divine guidance comes through,
Well,
you have to trust it.
Right now, her birthday 11/11/20, right, and then mine's like a 19 and it's 63. That's all. It comes up to 11 as a power number, and it's like one of the high numbers. What?
Oh, for a second, I was thinking that Gary's birthday was November 20th, but it's. I think I'm remembering that. I thought it was November 20th, and I thought, well, that would be bizarre.
My March
would be
10th is 11/10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. November, it's a big month. See, now the 10th, then maybe that's when you have to like reconnect and be like, okay, how far are we through? What do we have left? Reevaluate. So then the next 10 days you finish.
Well, you know me. I'm so anal. I'm just so like, I just get everything done. Yeah, I get her done.
I think that was maybe the message for Mama D up there.
Well, I have to be there with her to get hers done. So that's and then she's been very busy. She's had a lot on her plate. So
and things are going to change.
I have a new grandbaby.
I saw. Oh my goodness. So beautiful. I saw the post. Oh my goodness. What a little cherub. And she's just like tucked in on your chest. Oh my gosh.
Some nitwit thought I was breastfeeding.
Oh, good. Then she'll get it. That is good.
An older dude. Mary Jane, where did you send me a message?
Who sent it? No,
Mary Jane just said she sent me a message.
Numerology. Yeah. Is the root. Yeah, Jesus, I can't see this. This is too small. This isn't like reading the screen. Here we go. Uh-oh. That's not the one. That's not the one. Okay. In numerology, the number 1 is the root of opportunity in our lives. It is the symbol of confidence, power, and action. It pushes us to look at our current circumstances and realize that we have the power to turn them into anything we wish. If we are afraid, the 1 inspires us to take control of our future and embrace new beginnings. That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Love it.
Mary Jane, if I haven't told you lately, hello.
Mary Jane, I heard you made a great mini-me.
Yeah.
I love that.
Aww.
Aww, look at all these signs of support and angels just confirming.
Wow.
It's just so
I think that's one of the
beautiful.
things about our show is that it brings like-minded people together, and people who are sort of searching for answers brings them together, and it brings out a different side in them.
Yeah.
She says, "I love you guys." She's
Nice.
Not like you had a choice.
Yay!
New beginnings. We love new beginnings.
Dave. Yeah.
They're awesome. They're awesome.
Yeah.
The world is changing, and again too, like this thing here, this vibrant living, for like she said, you can do as many days as you want, but it's like a day by day thing, and this can help you get out of your shell because we are still in that afraid to get out into the world thing, like I went to an event, I did an event, I got COVID, there's a lot of people around, but I'm still, and then it's like it didn't deter me from going to another event, so I'm not going to go back into a cocoon, it's like you get it, that's it.
Right, but moving into this new normal is, it can be scary. So, calling in on that divine guidance, that angelic guidance, and with Robbie's workbook, you have steps you can take every single day if you feel called to, right? Maybe have a day that you're off, but if you follow these, you can see literally life-changing events and circumstances start to take place in your life. I mean, it's so awesome.
And it's really, you start moving out of that fear and anxiety and stress, because a lot of us are immersed in that a lot more than we're aware of. And you start moving more into just being at peace and being happy and not stressed about stuff. And knowing that if you don't know how to do something, you hand it over and ask for help, and they'll help guide you to that. They'll not only guide you, they'll give you the info, they'll put synchronicities together, they'll make it happen so that you don't need to know how to do it. Just follow the guidance with that intuition,
Exactly.
that gut instinct, and that they'll get you there. So, one of that's really my passion, is getting this information out there so people can let go of these fears and start living in more joy and vibrant living in happiness. And what you'll notice is that over time, days, weeks, months, and years, you're changing, you're shifting, so that you start getting out of that icky stuff and you start raising into these higher frequencies of, joy and peace, love and gratitude, and you start staying there more.
Right.
That's the key, is to learn how to stay there rather than get pulled down into this other icky stuff. And so you start staying there longer.
Yep. And gratitude's a lifesaver. It truly
huge.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And it's really powerful for the body and how it can help heal. That's one of the things that the Aboriginal tribes people taught us, is how the emotions are very connected to the body. And if you sustain certain emotions on a regular basis, it can create problems, physical problems. And so what I didn't realize is, you would think anger would be a really harmful emotion. It's not as harmful as guilt. Yeah. Yes. Guilt and shame are really hard on the body. Anger tends to leave the body quickly. That's why we kick. That's why we, you want to hit. It leaves the body. But shame and guilt, they change not just the energy flow, but they also change the cells.
And your biochemistry.
Yes. So that's just two things. Shame and guilt are really hard on the body. But the flip side is, like you were just saying, Gina, gratitude is huge. It will help you heal faster. Right. Because it's a different energy. It creates a different kind of cell. It creates a different kind of chemical response through the body. And gratitude and forgiveness are huge.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. And that is so hard. And you know where you got to start? You look in the mirror and you got to forgive yourself. Once you forgive yourself, then you can forgive others. And it can be for anything. Oh, but see, again, timing.
Oh, that's okay. She got the message. She got what she. Yeah, we, Athena and I are just passing on the messages. We didn't know.
We are. Oh, there she is. We're just the messengers. That's it. Don't shoot the messenger.
We are. Yeah.
And it's such a gift. It's a gift to do that.
Yeah, I always say that to people that when they're really down. It's like you have to make a gratitude list. I don't want to make it. It's like. One thing, right? One thing.
Yeah.
What can you be grateful for today? What do you have? Do you have a roof over your head? Because that's a big one, right? Do you have a job? Do you have food? Do you, have friends? Do you have someone that cares for you? You have guardian angels.
Yeah. Do you have water? Yeah.
Right? Oh, yeah. Oh, water. Did you see the thing about Mississippi? How they have all that horrible water?
Yeah.
Be grateful that you have water. Okay.
And it's something we so take for granted living here in these comforts and our really luxuries compared to so much of the world. Gratitude helps shift us, change that perspective too. When we're starting to feel down, you start doing your gratitude practice. Suddenly you realize, things are actually pretty good. I actually have a lot. And that just shifts. It creates an energetic shift within you. And, like Robbie's saying it, your cells actually behave differently. You're, instead of like holding that cortisol and producing so much of that in your gut because you're stressed or you're upset or you're low, suddenly you bring that to gratitude. Your body is working more efficiently. And we're all happier when our bodies work better,
I know. And
our emotions are better.
I'm desperately trying to get my body to feel better. But you know what? I did ask for my angels, because I did do that MRI yesterday, and it was almost 3 hours. It was 2 hours and 45 minutes lying there. And
I fell asleep in those machines.
Yeah, I fell asleep until that one thing went, wait. I'm like, Jesus. I almost jumped out of my skin.
Did they not give you the earplugs?
You had headphones on. They're like,
they just little orange stick in your ear. And
no, I didn't have that. I just had headphones on music. And I'm like, just something 70s. right? That's all I want. I just want something that's what I listen to. If I'm listening to music, I want 70s, right?
Oh, that's
And
funny.
and it's just so they had a good station on, but it was like even if it was loud with the wah, bing, bang, 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 and I'm like, all right, well this doesn't matter. Then when the thing would stop, she'd be like, okay, next one 3 minutes, next one 4 minutes, next one this one, because they did head, neck, and spine, so that's why it took so long. So it was three all at once. I was in that machine so long that it heated up the room so much. Every time she would come in to like shift something or take the little cage thing off your head and do all that kind of stuff, she's like, wow, it's getting warm in here. It's getting warm in here. When I first went into this place too, there was like 1 million people all around. When I was done, we were the last two in the building, and she had to let me out. She had to unlock the door and let me out. I'm just like,
But look, you had 2 hours and 45 minutes of forced rest, which when you had COVID, you were getting up and you were working on all these wedding projects and staining doors and sanding. You were doing all kinds of stuff when I was like, you need to rest. Did you rest? No. See, Mama D was lecturing you about that too. And look, now you had 2 hours and 45 minutes where you got to just lay down. Okay, you had some loud interaction, whatever. You got to listen, tune into the music you love,
It's the gratitude.
and lay down and just.
I did ask my angels at one point to come in and help me because my back was starting to, and it's like I knew it was coming to the end. It was like 15 minutes left, and she was like, yeah, this is all we have left, and hang in there with me. You okay? Do you want to sit up? Blah blah blah. I'm like, nope, and I'm like, please, just don't let my back go out. That's all I was saying because I was starting to get that just in the lower part of my back, and I'm just like, everything else was comfortable. Like up here was comfortable because I was all like snuggied in there, and then it wasn't bad. I did pass out a few times, So when I came out of it, I was just like, oof. You guys were after writing. I was like that. I'm like, okay, car. Thank God I didn't live too far from it. Like, geez.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of energy they're moving through during an MRI too.
She's heating up the room.
I got anxious. I was getting anxious, and I'm like, and I asked her because the first I did sit up one time after they did the first initial one with my head, and I'm just like, do people get anxious with this? Is this pulling something out? And I'm just wondering, And she's like, well, not usually. I'm like, really?
No, that's not true. I know a lot of people that have a lot of anxiety when they go in for an MRI. Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
some people have to medicate. Some people can't. Yeah, they can't do the closed MRI. They have to do the open MRI. I mean, there's lots of different ways.
I don't have problems. Little, stuff like that. I don't. I'm not claustrophobic. I'm an investigator. I crawl into the
I bet.
Spaces
Yeah. You can't be claustrophobic with that, can you?
No,
that wouldn't work.
No. Yeah, because even when it could be a huge room, but if we're investigating in the dark, you shut the lights off and you're in a huge room, it feels like
little cubbyhole.
Anyway,
yeah. And then if you've got a bunch of spirits walking around in there, it's not exactly an empty room.
I'm just wondering if that's what it was in there, honestly, because it felt different. It was different, a different feeling, but a weird. And all I can explain it as an anxiety, but not a fear anxiety.
Fear-based, yeah.
It was weird.
And overwhelm. Well, it was a lot of energy coming through, so I can see how that would be, overwhelming. And it was great that you did your gratitude practice in there, and you'll know for next time or whatever the next situation is. You feel like that, you can call on your angels to come in and support you. And
but they did. They did keep my back.
Yeah.
It felt better because I had just gotten done reading the book. And it's like, ask angels for help. So I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to ask angels for help with this. Help me get through this. I know it's a long time sitting in here, and I didn't have a problem after that.
They did. Yeah.
Amazing.
That's cool.
I know. And I love it when it works. You know what I mean? And guys, I'm going to say this again, right? All the questions that you always asking me, and what is a spirit guide? How can I get in touch with my spirit guide? is there guided meditations? Is there, what's an ascended master? What's the difference between archangels, angels, spirit guides, and all this right here?
Yep.
Right there.
Yeah.
Each book, it's all in here. All in here. Right? There it is.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask me anymore.
You know what one of my favorite sections of that book is? You'd be surprised. The appendix about the dimensions. I
that's really
love
cool.
that
Yep,
part.
that's really cool. That's really cool.
Because, I had to do some research about that. Somehow it came up. I think one of the, like, you were saying, Athena, sometimes the publisher will ask questions. You're like, oh, I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
And they were saying, so what are dimensions? And I thought, oh, let's put that in there. So, it was really, that ended up being my favorite part is the appendix at the very last few pages about the dimensions. And they're like, so they were asking me, what's the first dimension? I thought, oh, we shouldn't just skip right to the third. Let's talk about the first and the second. So we talk about what's the first, what's the second.
What lives on the first dimension?
Yes.
The boogies. It is amazing. It is amazing. And a lot of people think that things like Bigfoot is a dimensional being and that he knows how to get back and forth through all these dimensions, which I think is a crock of crap. But, that's just me. But, it's just, there are people, mediums that I know that see into these different dimensions.
Yes. Yes.
And it's really, really a cool concept and a really cool thing. And I think it's a real thing.
Well, and I don't remember who was it that wrote in earlier in the show about Nostradamus and the times?
Dave.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's really being able to see into these other dimensions simultaneously, how they're all operating at the same time, and that we have this agreement here about having time and space here on this planet in this particular spot. So it's fascinating when you can start cracking into broadening and thinking beyond this third dimension. And you realize how fourth dimensional thinking, it's not a place. It's a vibration. It's a frequency. Right. And that when you're in fourth dimensional thinking, which is where we're headed, is fourth dimension. It's the belief systems of third dimension are so bizarre and so primitive. And you see that and you realize that. And I love that it broadens the picture and gives you a bigger understanding of what's really going on and how, the angels, they're operating at a higher dimension. This is why it's so important that they honor our free will and that they have laws that they have to abide by, but they have to lower their frequency. We have to raise ours. And this is why we have gotten better at communicating with them, because we've learned how to raise our frequency, raise your vibe. Thank you, Athena. Yeah. We've learned how to raise our vibe so that it's easier for us to tap into that wisdom, tap into that knowledge, tap into those other dimensional higher consciousness. Mm-hmm. And so, that's, I don't know where that came from, but I just got excited about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's great to have in there because people really do question about that. Like, what are they talking about? What is all this dimension stuff? And is it like another planet? Is it, all kinds of questions come through. And is it a place? But I love how you break down, like, it's not a place per se. It's, a higher level of consciousness. Raise your vibration and you get to experience, this whole other, really a whole other world, but it's really a frequency.
That's what the gurus are going after. They want nirvana. They want to reach that highest thing. They want to be in that sixth
dimension. That higher plane. Yeah.
That's the goal.
But I love the idea that we're moving towards that, and maybe being put into this forced lockdown pandemic, we were forced to turn inwards. We were forced to look at what was going on, different aspects of our lives, what worked and what didn't, and had a chance to actually raise ourselves above this. And so many people were able to connect from different parts of the world that we never would have before, because suddenly we were on Zoom. Suddenly, social media, we were all like chatting with each other in lives, like everything, shifted. And some of that is not going back to the way it was before. It'll never go back. It'll never go back.
Never go back.
Yeah. But I love the idea that that's raising us.
I think we've learned too much over this time that we realize that there are things that may not have been going so good, and we found a different way of doing it. I'm not saying that everything was wrong back then, It's just we found a better way of doing things.
Yeah.
Yes.
But a lot of people have written books similar and over, centuries. You know what I mean? Like on the same concept, just a little bit different, a little bit tweaked.
Mhm.
Like I think we're a lot more in tune than, like, say, even Nostradamus, right? All right, let's say seers of all times, were they looked at as crazy people, right? Or, and then now we see all the things as, oh my God, yes, they could really see into the future, you know. But these dimensions and everything else, that, whatever they're called, terrains or whatever, like, we've had so many people on our show that do different types of things in the same thing. Like
Mhm.
terrain people, they give you different symbols as to what terrain you're on. There's a little quiz that you can take as to what terrain you're on.
Yeah.
And it's really, it all comes together.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
start reading all these different books and you're getting all this information. And all of a sudden, it's like, if you're unsure and you're really unsure and you don't really know what direction you want to go in, you're not sure you believe, you keep reading, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have that one aha moment,
Yeah.
and it's all going to come and fall right into place for you and make sense, and you know where you're going, and
It fits. It all fits. Yeah.
Mhm.
it's like it's a whole new world, and there's no going back from that. You can't unlearn
No.
stuff, and
You can't unsee. Yeah, it's done. Yeah. And in the most beautiful way, you don't want to go back. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
What time are we at? We're over. Oh my goodness. All right.
Oh, we are.
I could just keep, talking and talking and talking and talking, but I don't know if you have to. Do you have mom duties to do? I mean,
I should probably feed the little people in here. Yeah.
The big people.
I said everything out. I know. I said everything out thinking, okay, well, I guess we can warm it up if they're hungry. I made a lot of Persian stews this week, so I have been cooking, and today was like, okay, I am not cooking today. Like, I have all this food. Everybody needs to eat it. But I don't know if it got warmed up.
I don't know if you want to.
Mom, how do I feed myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, look at what we did. The mess.
I know.
What, Mom?
Who knows what the kitchen will look like when I go over there.
I am impressed with how much you get done as a mother, and you do all these other things. I was so blown away the first time I met you. I'm like, oh my gosh, and she's raising kids.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
I know.
Full-time
Never a
job.
dull
Lately, she's
moment.
been doing a lot of traveling too, and promoting the book, and she's gone over Europe a couple times, doing.
Yeah, I'm going back in October. My mom's going to come with me for this one. I'm leaving the kids again. They're like,
Hey,
again.
I'm not going with you on some of these
That might
trips.
be also why my husband's like, wait, you're going to write another one? What are you doing?
Yeah.
But, they love it too. It's created the most wonderful changes in our home. And, it's just, I guess, a matter of balance and just realizing, when it's time to step back and, take care of things here, and when I have time to do, my passions and my love and what I love to give back, because it's all about giving back.
Right.
So when I do this, it refills my cup. So I have enough to give to everybody, and that was an important lesson for me as I was healing, was to remember to refill my cup. And, doing things like this, does that for me. So, then, I go feed the little people, and they're like, Mom, that was the best food ever. As I'm like pouring Reiki into it, I'm like, can I add a crystal to your stew? Like, don't eat the crystal,
No, it's not edible. I want that
Just
back.
set it on the side,
Oh,
But if I didn't have the kids, oh my gosh, I probably would be putting out so much more. But you know what? It's all about divine timing.
You never
It's
know.
all about divine timing, and they are such a form of inspiration for me too.
Yeah.
So,
But I think you're wise with the word balance. That's really important, is to find that balance.
It is. It's really important.
Yeah.
And with everything, for everybody, not just moms with 3 kids.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. It's not just the kids, it's every aspect of your life, whether it's the
Yeah.
emotional balance, the spiritual
Yeah.
balance, the physical balance. Yeah.
Your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your
Yes.
parents, you have to keep all of that in mind. And because all of these people are very important for your life. And, there's always going to be work, right? There is
Yes.
always going to be work. I mean, I always say this, like, you're going to go to bed. Guess what? There's going to be work for you tomorrow. But, those memories and those moments that you're sharing with a loved one, that's really special. That's that's priceless. And that might not be there tomorrow. So those are the moments we need to enjoy. And you never know, they might inspire you for your next work. So, they work well together.
Yep. Now, Robbie, do you do things like events? Like, do you go to like conventions or anything like
Well,
that?
I used to do a lot of that. And then COVID happened, right? And then you're like, oh, well, this is a lot easier just connecting from my home, from my office, wherever. Yeah, I do consultations with people all over the world, but I really kind of let my guides take care of that so that I have that balance in life, that I don't get burned out, or that I'm able to have the ability to find time to meditate and exercise and all that sort of thing. But I think COVID really changed a lot of that, because I was traveling a lot, and it's kind of nice to just connect by this. Like, this is
Be home. Yeah.
It's easier to travel this way.
It is.
You can travel around the world this way.
I know. I didn't know we were connecting to Canada. That's awesome.
I know. Yeah, we got Canada, we got California. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in the San Juan Islands.
Did you see that?
So where are we going on vacation, ladies?
Right.
I'm up by Seattle.
After Jamaica, the San Juan Islands.
Yeah.
We're coming.
Let's do it.
Actually, Victoria, BC, Canada. We're actually closer to Canada than we are Seattle. Or
All right. So on my way up, I'll stop seeing you. We'll pick up Mama D. Come back down. We'll see you.
Come back down around. There you go.
Then we'll go way to the other side and go see.
Go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Jason says, Jacob, says a vacation Australia as well. There we go.
Yeah. Australia's awesome. I love those Aussies. I tell you.
Yes.
Yeah. Really interesting.
Jacob from Australia.
Shopping, book shopping.
Yeah. There we go.
I love it.
All right,
ladies. Well, I will go feed my little earth angels, and thank you so much for another fabulous show on the Thoughts. And Robbie, so amazing to connect with you again.
Nice to see you again. I'm really looking forward to March. That's exciting.
Yes, thank you. And I'm looking forward to November. Mama
D,
I love you.
We want an update.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
We'll get you updates.
Well, thank you so much. There it is.
Information right there, and there's all the books right there. Go to the website. Get in touch with her. www.holzwellness.com, or email her, robbie@holzwellness.com. Okay. And Robbie, you are a love. I absolutely love.
Oh, thank you. You guys are all awesome.
Life, just like Athena. We may be calling upon you for all kinds of things. You never know what's.
You never know. Yeah.
You never know.
Can't wait to read. This is. By far, guys, got to get it. You have to get it. I can't wait to do this and read these. I'm really excited to read those.
Those are going to be awesome. Yes.
Yes,
I have the PDF print of Angels in Waiting, but I need the physical copy, so I'll have to do. And now I'm excited for the workbook, so we're just book shopping. All right, ladies. Well, sending you so much love.
Much love to you.
And
bye.
We'll get you stuff for next week too soon.
Thank you.
All right, you hang with us for a minute here.
You bet.
I love you. Bye. Okay.
She's
now,
a sweetheart.
isn't she?
Oh, she blows me away. I just can't believe what she gets done in a day, right?
Yeah.
I forgot she had little ones. Of course she's got little ones, you know?
She does, and she does. And then she was yelling at me for getting my stuff done. I'm like, hey, I gotta do my stuff. You know, I have a lot to do in a little time. You know, I pace myself to get all these things, these projects done for that wedding. 2 big windows, 2 little windows.
Yeah.
Make the frame work. You know, they're like, you don't even have to have it be a working door. I'm like, have you met me? Be a working door. Whether you want it to work or not, if it just stays open, that's one thing. But you know, the option's there. You have it. It works.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right. So, speaking of doing it right, this show is done.
Yes.
I love, and
It's been amazing. It's been fun. Thank everybody who's been here with us asking great questions.
Yeah.
Mary Jane, thanks for your input.
Yeah.
Robbie, it's been a blast getting to know you. And I cannot wait to get my book.
yeah, yep. All right, so guys, we'll see y'all next week. And Robbie, hang there for a second. Ciao for now, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Share.
Y'all behave.
Thank you again for joining us for another episode in the Fox Den. We're here every Thursday evening from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you a variety of guests, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and our Anchor venues. We would love it if you would go to our YouTube channel, The Fox Den with Gina B and Mama D, and please subscribe, share, and definitely hit the notification button to never miss a show. We'll see you all next week, and subscribers, watch for our pop-up shows.